All right, so I finished my release 2 of my day trading program. I'm really excited about it. I did live trading today. Well, paper trading, but with live candles that were going by real time. Um, and I did 3 stocks. I traded 3 stocks for 4 hours. I made 3% profit on 2 of the stocks and 1.5% profit on one of the stocks. Um, so I tried to really simplify it down from release 1, and I added a whole bunch of new features. Anyway, so basically what I have is the volume triangles, which I've been using for months and months and months and months. Basically, this is volume based trading. It's really cool. I think this is what makes this program unique from other anything else. I mean, other people use volume trading, but this really has lots of features for volume trading that I don't think anybody else has all these features. Um, Also, it has up and down or automatic up and down arrows with breakout lines. So the there's some programs out there that have up and down arrows, or breakout lines or breakout circles and stuff like that. So this isn't necessarily so unique. But the programs that have these things, from what I can tell, they don't come standard like with Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade or TradingView. Or if they do come standard, they're not. They don't come as soon. My arrows come sooner than like the other ones that I've seen. Um, and Because of that, because they come like real soon, they're not always like totally accurate. They might be like it might say the arrows saying trend will go down, and maybe most of the time it will. Some of the time it might still go down, but not that much. Or sometimes they might be wrong. So that's why it's so important to use them with breakout lines. I'll explain what the breakout lines are. That's a fairly common concept. Breakout lines. The price goes above this line. It's called a breakout. And But basically should use breakout lines with the volume triangles, and my program automatically will draw breakout lines. Although there's times that my program doesn't draw breakout lines, and I encourage you to use manual breakout lines. And then the third thing it does is up down trend indicator squares. Okay, big mouthful, but basically it's just a row of squares that have different colors: orange, red, black, gray, lime, and green. Right. So green kind of means it's an uptrend. Red means it's a downtrend, or green might mean more like you're sort of at the top or moving up towards the top. Red might mean you're at the bottom or moving towards the bottom. Um, and then Orange and lime are sort of like in between, right? And then uh, gray is definitely like neutral. In other words, gray means there's like no volume. So this is like these indicators, these trend indicators are sort of like tell you our volume based at all. So if it's gray, it's no volume. Any other color, it's based that shows up, it has volume behind it. That candle, associated candle. Okay. So basically now I want to show you examples of this. So this is like, okay, so this is the main square here, and I've highlighted the stuff in lime green, which I will do when we look at some stocks I traded today. And so the basic idea is that you have two blue triangles, on top of the candles in a row. There's going to be a change in direction. So in this case, the trend is going up. The two blue candles happen, and then it starts going down. In this case over here, you got a blue triangle, a no triangle, and a blue triangle. That's still okay. Okay, so in this case, the two blue triangles showed up, and it went down immediately and then came back up. But this is just an example of what's going to happen. And then over here you'll see a blue triangle all by itself, and another blue triangle by itself. And you can see they're kind of going side. This price is going sideways. Um, this row down here is those trend indicators. Remember the green, lime, red, lime, Oh, this is lime. That's green. Yeah. All right. So that's those things. And this is an example of a flat top where you got these three candles and you got two blues and a black. The black one is medium volume. That's a medium volume black triangle. Blues are high volumes, and then these guys here don't have any triangles, so they're like low volume. So the point here with this is that the price has been going up, and all of a sudden it goes sideways. Well, over here it's going sideways too, but there's kind of a difference here. At the very top, you got the two blue triangles and a black triangle. It's kind of a really powerful top, you know. So we call this a flat top because the price stopped going up, and you got these blue triangles on top. So it's like a major one. Over here, it kind of goes flat top too for a while, and then keeps on going up. Over here, flat top goes up, but notice over here we just have one blue triangle. So this is volume-based trading. So we want to get the real top. We want to have the two blue dudes. Okay, and you can see these triangles that appear. They appear automatically. And then over here you have, I call it my trend squares. Okay, so we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the trends, I guess. So notice that the price is going down, reaches a valley, and then heads back up. And in this valley, you notice that you got an orange and a lime. And this is like indicates that it's going to start going up again. And what that is you can tell lime is more towards green, so it's going to go up, and orange is sort of red. So basically it's saying, hey, it's going to go from a low to a high, or orange to a green, and that's what that is. I think if you could probably spend some time reading these indicators better. Like this is a red to a green, and you'll notice that it went boom. But what happened is, in this case, it went boom, a big huge candle, and now you go up here, it's kind of leveled off. But by the time this candle's over, it's leveled off. So this is kind of like some advanced notice that orange and lime are good colors, because they're both kind of like, they're not, the orange is not red and the lime is not total green. And so when you get this combination, you got a little bit of time to get into the trade, enter the trade before it goes up. And to be honest with you, I haven't studied all the effects of, I program these colors to occur, but things like this is something that you can find out. I haven't found out all the little secrets and little caveats, but what these indicators do is help you read what's going on. And so so like over here you got a blue triangle and a black triangle, and I've talked about this before. And then you have these the ones without triangles, and I kind of say these are sort of meaningless. Anyways, we can move on. So now we want to talk about this slide here is about the automatic up arrow, right? This arrow automatically appears. This is the automatic up arrow. Now, this next little detail shows a red down arrow. So this is an automatic down arrow. And so there's the two cases, the up arrow case and the down arrow case. So each time you see an arrow, whether it be a down arrow here or an up arrow here, you have to you can't just use it blindly. You have to have a confirmation. You talk to any trader or watch any videos, they always talk about confirmations. And so same with this. Sometimes my arrows aren't the best. Like if you look over here, it says it's going to go up, and look what, I had this cut out. It was a blue arrow, but look what happens. It went down, but then it went up, right? So it really wasn't wrong, because it was the fact that it was up was, I think it was indicating that it's going to be, there was going to be a big change, and that's what happened. So shoot, when I grabbed it, I cut off the screen. There was a blue volume indicator here, and anyways, now the next thing you see, I want to talk to you about the breakout lines. In this case, you got the up arrow, and then you have a green line here, a horizontal line, right? And this green line is drawn automatically. This is the that's what it's cut out here, but this was the automatic. My program draws that, and so what we're waiting for is the confirmation, right? So this arrow says it's going to go up, but guess what? The price went down first. So you could say, well, that's a false one. But then it started heading up. So what I did was I manually drew a breakout line. So I said manually drawn breakout line. So I just continued this over here like that, right? And the price went up and hit the line and hit the line. And all of a sudden the price candle and boom, and broke out. It broke out. It started here, and then it ended here, ended above the line. So it started below the line and went above the line. And that might be good enough, breakout most of the time, 50% time. But also you have another confirmation, the next candle. Notice the whole candle is above the line. That's really good. But it's kind of red, so it really is a red candle. So now that tells you that, but it's low volume, so it's kind of meaningless. So really, you have a high blue candle volume breaking out. That means it's going to go up. So now you have some low volume here. These guys are meaningless, but this is actually a really good time to enter because the price has gone down lower. And so this is where I would enter in here, especially since this little low volume guy is still above the line here. So I would enter, and then the price starts going up. Now, want you to also note, like if you still were kind of not uncertain, you could use this blue candle this blue triangle right here, and you basically, I could have drawn it up a little bit higher, but basically you draw. This is a manual breakout line, and you draw it at the right at the top of the candle, and you draw across, and the price goes down, and all of a sudden, boom! It breaks out. This candle breaks above that line. So now you have an up arrow. You have this guy breaking out, breakout one, and then this guy breakout two, and now you can get this candle here. It's the body of this candle is all above the second breakout line, so you can get in. This is a 1 minute period, so you have time to get in right in here, and then the price goes up and up and up, and then it goes up and up and up, and all of a sudden you got two blue candles, right? And they're double blue triangles. So this is your signal to get out. So you probably, if you're just doing a short in and out, get a scalp, you would probably get out here, or you might want to play on. So anyways, that's the blue candle. Now the down arrow is a little bit different, because it's where you draw the breakout line. So in the up arrow, the breakout line is at the top of the candle, and in the down arrow, the breakout line, see, here's the candle here, is at the bottom of the candle, because you're expecting to go down. So to get a confirmation, you're waiting for it to go below this candle. So the breakout line is here, that's drawn automatic, and then this is the first candle afterwards. The whole candle basically is below the line, and since it's a red candle, see, it's a red candle, it opens here and closes there. So now it closes way below the breakout line. So that's good. So you could get in maybe towards the end of this minute or beginning of this minute where it opens up. Either way. And I just drew this red red circle here, the oval, and said this is where the breakout is. You might not be able to see. Let me zoom in a little bit. You see this next dashed line here? There's a little dash. That's a price. I think that's called a doji, where it's not a very, it's really a thin line. But so if you didn't get here, in here on this breakout, you could for sure get in right there on that doji and write it on down. And you notice it goes all the way down. And you'll see that most of these things don't have blue triangles or black triangles, so this is sort of like low volume stuff. So you got in here, you have a black volume triangle, medium, which is medium. It went down. Now you have a single blue. It went down. So you can tell we're going down. Now you have this blue triangle, and it's a high volume, and it's a green candle. So what you could do is like, is this going to go up or go down? You might freak out a little bit. So you can put some breakout lines in there. For instance, you could go, see if I can draw a line. Yeah. So you could draw a line there, and anyways, you draw a line at the bottom of the candle. So while you still have you've entered the trade, and you see this big blue candle, and it's gone up here, and you entered it here. Now you're doing basically a short, and it goes up here. You're still okay, and but if it keeps on going up, man, like if the price had broken up above this candle, you'd have got out, because and then you would have time to get out. So you'd get out over here, and so you wouldn't make any money. But the nice thing about this day trading, you don't lose money. So what happens? It stays. The next candle stays in between the up and lower breakout lines, and this one stays below it, in between. That one stays in between. That one stays in between. That one stays in between. And finally, you got one over here. The body of this candle falls below, and it continues down. And then you just keep on running it down. So what I've showed you here is like how my individual indicators work. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. This is called a black top. So you'll see this black square here, and don't be confused that because there's gray squares. The gray squares are not black squares, and vice versa. And this isn't what I call a black top here. It's not to say that every time you see a black top square or a black square, it's a black top. Like here's some black squares over here. But often when you see a black square, you'll be at a peak. So this, I call it a black top. You go up here, the candle, you'll see that this is a peak and it starts going down. Like over here, you'll see some black squares, and the price goes down a little bit. Anyways, over here, this black top, there's was some greens before it. Green, and hit a black top. That's, I think, a better indicator. Because you're on the rise and now you hit the black top, that means you're stopped rising. And then you go, or over here, it's like you had been on the rise and you have no volume. Now you got some black tops. So it's still okay, but it's not as good as that one. Okay, so now you know all my indicators. Again, review, there's only 3 types. There's the volume triangles, there's the automatic up and down arrows with breakout lines, and then there's the up and down trend indicator squares. And you're looking for like the orange lime combination, and then you have the black tops. Okay, so let's look at some real stocks. Okay, so this is some stocks that I traded today, and what is really cool is if you can get in on so this is what I did 3%. and I'll try to get it so you can see it. So when you're trading, it's really hard. There's, I'll say, you can get in, and you see the price, the candles. It goes up, down, up, sideways, up, down a little bit, up, down, and now it's starting going down, down, and now it switches and it goes down, and so you can get in at any of these down spots, and if you're in an uptrend, you can get a little bit up and then up, and then when it starts going down, you can get out. But it takes a little time to get in with the indicators, and it takes a little time to get out. So you can make a little bit of a profit, okay? It's better if you can try to get the long-term trend. So for example, if you start way down here and kind of ride it up and ride it up, but you still nice to know where the top is. And so this purple line here represents a long-term trend line that day traders use all the time. And so I drew it right back over here, and it's not exact, but as the price goes up and up, you'll notice that like for instance, the price is going up starting here, like the dashed line's the start of a day, and it goes up and it kind of flat tops out here. Well, that flat tops at the price that was yesterday, the ending price from yesterday. And then so now today it started out low and went up, reached that resistance line and flat topped and went down. And at this point, you don't know if it's going to keep on going down, and it might soften and it keeps on going down. At the beginning of the day, it's the most volatile, the biggest changes, and you don't know what the trend is because it's the beginning of the day. In order to have a trend, you have to have, here's one peak, and that might be a second peak, and that might be a third peak, and it might be a fourth peak. But beginning of the day, you have only these little guys. That might be a peak there, and that's the major peak. So you got a minor peak and anyways. So you just don't know, right? So beginning of the day, you don't know what the trend is, up or down. I mean, you got the short-term trend. That's what we call these things. So what I say is, since you can make a lot of money at any one short trend, the very first beginning of the day is what you can do is try to get in and do a scalp. A scalp is just get in and get out really quick. And so this one I got the blue line here represents where I got in and where I got out. That's we call a scalp. And then I did a scalp here, and then I did a scalp there. And this scalp was 28 cents, this 22 cents, 28 cents. And so this stock was just a scalp because I was reading the indicators. And then later on in the day, now I had a purple line, and I got in and I did a long term. It doesn't look that good, does it? Let me zoom in. Now you can see I got in here and I rode it all the way down here for a long ride, and it was 33 cents. Well, the stock is 34 cents, so that was like a long-term 1% gain right there. So this stock I made 28 cents, 22 cents, 28 cents, and 33 cents. Now this I made money even though the line went down. I did a short sale. And so what I did was I highlighted some stuff with these colored rectangles. Like, see this one here? You have a blue triangle and another blue triangle. So 2 of the 3 candles have triangles. So you know it's going down. And look at the arrows say it's going down. So that's what that is. And we can see why I got in, so that anyways, so here's the first candle of the day. It's blue. Can you see that? Okay, so the first candle of the day is blue, and so you draw your line at the top, you draw your line at the bottom, and then of the candle, the breakout lines, and the price, the second candle goes down below it, but the whole body is above it, so it hasn't broken down below. Now these little low volume candles go up, and then you get a medium candle hits it, and then the price goes down, but it's still within this first candle. Then you got this candle right here. It's green. It's got a medium volume, and it broke past. It was a break. That's the breakout there. See, and so now they look at the next candle, and it's green, and it's a low volume one, but the whole body is above there. So you could really get in. I could have really got in. Well, maybe the next candle after this, and that's that's where I did. I got in right here, the next candle. So I saw this breakout, that breakout. I've had two confirmations. It's past that, and so I got in right there. That's why I have this pink rectangle, and then here's my blue line. It starts out, and now I'm just going to stay on in it. And what happens? Well, it does the flat top, and then I see a red candle. It's beginning of the day, so I'm being really cautious. You can see the flat top here. I didn't mark it flat top, but I want to get out. Down here I don't have a black candle, like a black top, a black square. Black top. I have green going up, and then the green turns gray when the candle turns gray too. So it's saying, hey, you've had this nice long streak up, and now I got two gray candles in a row. A flat topped up here, and even though I got these up arrows, I'm still going to get out because I'm being really cautious, because the beginning of the day is just like moves fast. And I took 28 cents per share, and that's good. That's like almost 0.7%. So go along, and I notice these green things here. This is saying that the stock's going to change direction, and the price went down. And now it's starting to come back up again, but I see some up arrows, and now if I see my breakout lines, the price hasn't broken through it yet, or hasn't broken down below it yet, so it's not time to get in. And now you could say that's the first candle that really broke through. The body broke through, so you have to wait for the candle to be done forming. So now I'm going to get in the next candle right there, and I'm on my way up, and so now I'm riding it up. Two blues show up, and that's a little bit worrisome, but I've already entered the fray. And in this case, the two candles mean that I guess the stock was going sideways, but now it's going to start moving up again. So the stock had been going up, but now it's going sideways. Second candle shows up, and now it goes from sideways to up. And now it's going up. I see two blue candles. And but the first candle, I got a black volume and then a blue volume, and the blue volume's red. So I'm getting afraid. So because it's the beginning of the day, I probably should have stuck in there a little bit more. This is the first time running the program. This was just a little peak, and you can see this green. It's called a diagonal trend line going up, and I probably should have stuck in there. So I got out, and then I realized, you know what? This was just a sideways movement. The price had gone up, then it came back down, hit the diagonal line. So I got back in again, and rode it back up to the top. And you see the two blue candles here, and it's like, these blue candles symbolize the stock's going to go down. And also notice we're getting close to that long-term trend line. So I see it flat topped. I see two black medium triangles, and then a green candle and a red one. It's time to get out. So I got out on this red candle or I could have got out the next one. And now it starts going down, and it's kind of going sideways, and then you can see the peaks. Here's a peak, here's a peak, here's a peak, and now it's starting down. So it's going sideways, and now it's finally breaking through. See this line here? The price broke through, so now I know I'm starting in a downtrend. And so I got in here. My program automatically drew in this red line and this down arrow, and the price broke through. Boom, I'm in, and I just take that price and rode it all the way down. So that's that one. And if you want to turn out the video now, that's probably a good time, because but I'll go over my 2 more stocks, but there's probably nothing more new. What's good to see is how you can enter the day. The beginning of the day is tricky, and so I also wanted to show you the orange lime. Here's an orange lime, and the price goes up, and it keeps on going up until we get a double volume. So I didn't know about, when I was trading today, I didn't know about the orange green thing. But if I would have known about the orange green thing, I could have got in here maybe and made some. It showed up over here, so I would have got in over here somewhere and rode it up here. That'd have been nice. 45 to 58, about a 0.7%. So anyways, let's look at the beginning of the day. So this is the beginning of the day. And it's kind of dinking around. Here's the first blue candle. You could almost use this one right here too. The first candle is black. And here's the breakout bars. And this candle kind of broke through up here, but it's a red candle. So it started here and then opened up here, and by the end of the candle, it's down below. Again, at the beginning of the day, it's tricky, so I'm kind of waiting for the whole body to be below. So then this blue candle comes, the blue triangle, high volume. It's going down. Here's my breakout line, and these guys are happening, which are before the first breakout line, but the first breakout line was a black triangle, and it's really, the first candle of the day is kind of tricky because it might be overnight trading, and it relies on yesterday's data. There's usually a gap or a spike at the beginning of the day. This one wasn't too bad, so we could have entered here maybe. The first real candle that we could have entered would have been right here. It went down below it. I should have got in like right here, and then rode it down. And anyways, you'll see as we're writing it down, you'll see 2 blue triangles and 2 down arrows, right? And so now it's like, this is a little bit worrisome. This red line here is drawn automatically by my program, and if you extend it out here, it finally broke through down here. It broke through this red horizontal line, broke through. The price broke through that line and continued down. In the meantime, let me put this over here. So here's the candles, and you don't know if the price is going to go up or down. So you draw these horizontal breakout lines. Notice the price starts heading up, but it doesn't break that line, so you're okay. And then it heads down, and sure enough, it breaks through. So you've entered the trade up here. You can continue it down, and now you see 2 more blue triangles. It's like, oh crap! It's gonna what do we do? Because now these signal a change. Something's going to change. So we draw. Anyways, these arrows come and they kind of draw in breakout lines. These arrows say up and this arrow says down. They both can't be right. So we draw the breakout lines, and the price doesn't break through, on the upper one, and it does finally break through the lower one, right? So we continue our trade. More candles, the breakout lines, and what happens? If it would have continued down, we would have stuck with it, but notice that this is the last automatic breakout line, and we draw it across, and it barely breaks through, so we could have got out here. But we've been hanging in there for the long time, so if we wanted to do a long-term trend, we should probably have hung in there a little bit longer. And because we want to catch not just the short. By this time it's 7:15. We've been day trades 45 minutes long. The trend's been going down the whole day. We should give it a chance to continue on down, and it did go down. Anyways, this would have been a really good trade. And you can see it going up and down, and now it's going sideways, right? And so we probably would have got out here somewhere. That would have been a good day. Well, I think you get my trading system. I'm going to end this. Bye.